Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day and welcome to the channel. So right here I've got what I think are some of the best mechanics tool sets that you can get for under $200 right now. You've got the Craftsman 301 piece set, 308 piece set, the Pittsburgh 301 piece set, the Gearwrench 232 piece set, and then I've got a couple of Tekton sets over there that are a little bit different, not technically a mechanics tool set, but once you get up into around $200 price range, those sets actually make a lot of sense to get. So I'll go through each one of these and kind of show you what's in them, maybe what they're missing, and maybe some of the features that one set has over another. Also, I'm excited to announce we're actually going to have another giveaway in this video and probably including the next video of not one of these sets, but one of the sets that I featured in the $100 and under video. So if you're interested in the giveaway, make sure to stay to the end or skip ahead so that you can find out the details on how to actually potentially win it. So let's get started and look at these sets. All right, so right here I've got the Pittsburgh 301 piece set, and I'm not going to go through every single detail on it because I did have it in my $100 and under video, and the reason I had it there was because I wasn't planning on doing an under $200 video, but we are, and so now this is in this category. So pretty nice blow molded case. You've got all your screwdrivers, Torx drivers up here, a couple different cutters and needle nose. You've got your combination wrenches here, and then all of these different socket, bit adapters that have Torx from T10 up to T70. You've got a bunch of different Phillips and flathead bits. You've got E-sockets down here. You've got universal joints. All of your hexes up here, and then you've got short Allens here, longer Allens here. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication or misunderstanding in the first video when I said that all of this stuff up here is kind of throwaway, and I don't mean that you can't use these tools, but the quality, especially on these combination wrenches, is just it's a very low quality, but also the value to buy all of this up here, besides this set over here, is about $20. So it's not that they're not useful tools; they're definitely useful. They just don't add a ton of value to the cost of the box. Really, the value is underneath in all the sockets. So on this one, you just lift the trays up to go to the next one. And I didn't redo the shake test because it performed really well on the first one. We had a few of the bit sockets move around a little bit. A couple sockets moved down here, but it really wasn't much movement at all. So right here, you've got your 3/8 and quarter inch drives. For the SAE quarter inch drive shallows, you've got 5/32 through half, and then for the deeps, you've got 3/16 through half. For metric, you've got 4 through 14 with a 4.5, 5.5, and 6.5 on the shallows, and then you have a 5 through 13 for the deep sockets. Then for the 3/8 SAE shallow sockets, you've got a 5/16 through 7/8, and then on the deep sockets you have 3/8 through 7/8. For the metrics, you have 7mm on the shallow through 21, and the deeps go from 10 to 19. Really a great range. You've got 6-inch and 3-inch extensions, no quarter inch extension. You do have a 1/2 inch to 3/8 drive reducer there, and a miniature breaker bar that's the same length as the ratchet. Really a fairly complete set for the most part. There's a couple of skips in here, but it is a really nice complete set there. So now moving on to the 1/2 inch drive, you got your ratchet, your 10-inch extension, 5-inch extension. You have 5/8 and 13/16 spark plugs. And then for the shallow sockets on SAE, you've got 3/8 through 1 1/4, and then for metric shallow, you have 10mm through 32. There's some skips throughout here, but it's a great range to have. And then for the deep sockets, you have 9/16 through 5/16, and then 13mm through 24mm. Again, a couple skips in here, but great range. Most of the or all of the sets for the $100 and under price range had no 1/2 inch deep sockets. And so it's really a very complete set for a mobile use. And I do have to say, you know, the only gripe I've had at all is the 3/8 drive ratchet is a little clunky, but I'm pretty sure that there's just something a little weird off on the ratchet that I have here, because the 1/2 inch and 1/4 are very smooth 72 tooth ratchets. And I gotta say, the quality of these sockets is, I mean, the finish on the inside, on the outside, I mean, it is very nice. I'd say it's as good as Craftsman, Cobalt, Husky, I mean, if not better. They really are. I mean, there's some other brands we've seen where you've got totally different color on the inside of them for different coatings, where some of them got coated, some of them didn't. I mean, these are all really uniform, and I mean, just really nice finish on them. All right, so next up we've got the Gearwrench 232 piece set, and this was by far the most requested set to see. I'm not surprised why. It is really nice, but let's shake it up. And the reason I shake these, I know some people have said, "Yo, okay, that's never going to happen in your vehicle." I spend the majority of my day off-road on dirt roads that are poorly maintained city roads, and I drive 60 to 70,000 miles a year. These things move around. As much as you think they don't, you know, someone pulls out in front of you, slam on the brakes, it falls off your seat. I mean, even in my toolbox, they move around a lot. So that's why I shake them up, just to see, you know, what am I going to end up with at the end of the day on these kits. And so let's see how it goes. On the top, you got your combination wrenches. Nothing moved around. First drawer, nothing. Second drawer, looks good. Third drawer, looks like we got the 1/4 inch extension, and a couple deep sockets moved around a little bit. All right, so we had a little bit of movement around on the 1/4 inch side. I'm not totally surprised. It does come with all these little cardboard dividers, just kind of in between all the trays. They're probably going to blow away, but you know, you could leave them in there if you wanted to, and they'd probably, I mean, they wouldn't move around at all. But really did fairly well. So right here in the top, and I really like that the lid has nothing in it, so that when you flip the lid open, the weight of everything is not going to pull the drawer down or pull the lid down or anything, and eventually break the hinges. So at the top you have their 90 tooth ratcheting combination wrenches, and these things are super nice. I love ratcheting wrenches. I use them whenever I possibly can. I use them over sockets half the time, because you can just put better leverage on fasteners. But I do have one problem with this set, and that is that the only wrenches you have are ratcheting combination wrenches. And the problem with that is they're substantially thicker than a normal combination wrench. And if you've used ratcheting wrenches very often, you know that you find fasteners all the time that these will not work on. They're amazing to have when you can use them, but if you've only got, you know, one choice in a box, I personally would rather have a non-ratcheting combination wrench in here. And it looks like, you know, this box will accommodate putting in a normal set, or maybe just throw in a wrench roll or something to go along with this, because you will find fasteners that these don't work on, and then, you know, you can't put a socket on it, you can't put this on it, or you're forced to use the open end, which no one wants to do. The other thing is, I personally like having a 15-degree offset, because you can have the 15 or the negative, plus if you need a 0 offset, you still have the open end. But it just, to me, a 15-degree standard combination wrench will fit a lot more places than a 0-degree ratcheting wrench. That's just what I've seen when I've used these quite a bit. Doesn't mean it's going to be the same for your application, but that's just what I've seen. I would have rather them not been ratcheting, but it is a pretty awesome wrench to have included in a mechanics tool set. And it's not very expensive to go out and buy a set of combination wrenches. But if you do get this set, I'd highly recommend getting a set of combination wrenches to go with it. All right, so here in the top drawer, we have a lot of your different little adapters. You have an 02 through 9 on metric Allens, and then your 5/32 through 3/8. Then you've got on the Torx T7 through T55. On the nut drivers, you've got 5 through 11, and then 3/16 through half. And then your E-sockets, E6 through E16. Really a nice range to have here. You have a 1/4 to 3/8 adapter, and then a 3/8 to 1/4 adapter. And then here is what I would consider normally the fluff, and you only have, or the filler, and you only have, I believe there's, 30 in here. So, I mean, they didn't add just a bunch of crap in here just to increase the piece count. Then you have this really nice comfort grip driver for all of these. So really a very useful drawer. I really wouldn't throw away. I mean, you throw away these because they're so cheap, but these are actually useful for, you know, you've got your few Torx down here, and then different hex drivers, flatheads, and Phillips. So they are useful, and they didn't add a ton of them, so I do appreciate that. So here's the second drawer, and this is your 3/8 drive drawer, and you've got on the shallow SAE 1/4 inch through 15/16, and then on the deep you have 3/8 through 3/4. On the shallow metric you've got 6 through 22, and then for the 12 point you have 8 through 19. For the deep sockets you have 9 through 19. Pretty nice here. I definitely would have preferred a much larger range. They gave you a larger range in the metric, which makes a lot of sense for most people because most people use metric and not SAE. If your application is using a little bit of both, there's, you know, only 6 deep sockets on the SAE. So definitely would have preferred this a little bit more, or to have a little bit more of a range, and it does have a couple skips in there. Really nice. The quality of these things are just phenomenal. I mean, I really like Gearwrench tools. Never had any issues with them. You have your 5/8 spark plug right here. But I mean, really nice, clean setup there. So on to the last drawer. You've got, for SAE, 5/32, these are all 1/4 drive, 5/32 through 9/16, and then 3/16 through 9/16 on the deep sockets. And then you got, on the metric, 4 through 13, including a 5.5. And then on the deep sockets, 4 through 14, also including that 5.5. One thing I want to point out on these deep sockets, I meant to do that a minute ago, was these actually have shallow broaching in there. So when you slide a fastener or a nut in there, it's not going to go all the way to the end. It's easier to put on something if you need to. So a feature that even my Tekton ones don't have. I don't think any of the other sets we've looked at have had a shallow broaching on there. So it's definitely a feature that's pretty nice. So back to this drawer. For the extensions, you've got a 3-inch and a 6-inch on the 3/8 drive, 3-inch on the 1/4 inch drive. You've got basically a 1-inch extension, which might seem dumb, but that's extremely useful when you're in between places. Then you've got your Allen wrenches. You've got 1/16 through 3/8, and then 1.5 through 10 millimeter. I really like that they didn't include doubles of all of these with the shorter ones, especially since you already have all of the other drivers. For their ratchets, these are all their 90 tooth. Here's the 1/4 inch 90 tooth ratchet, and then the 3/8 90 tooth, not quick release, and comfort grip. And I've got to say, these are probably my favorite wrench or ratchets of any of the sets that we've looked at. Just super smooth, really nice quality, great chrome job on all of them, and just, I mean, the smooth action. I mean, they're really nice. So this Gearwrench set is really awesome. I only have a couple of complaints about it. The combination wrenches, while they are awesome, they definitely fit in less areas than just a standard combination wrench. So if you're just taking this set, you can run into problems with not being able to reach a fastener. The only other complaint I have about the tools here are that there's no 1/2-inch drive sockets. Now it does go up to, I believe, 22 millimeter on the 3/8 drive, but trying to put the force needed sometimes on a 3/8 drive ratchet, it's just nice to have a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. So maybe throwing a breaker bar or something in your vehicle too, to go along with this set would help out quite a bit. The last complaint is probably the biggest, and it's not something you can see here, is Gearwrench's warranty. It's lifetime warranty, just like all of the other brands, but they're not all created equal. And I warrantied out a flex head ratcheting wrench through Gearwrench, and it took me over 100 days to get a replacement wrench. I could order it all day online at Amazon. I could go over to Home Depot and order it there. But for whatever reason, it took Gearwrench over 100 days to get me it. And that was with me constantly contacting them to figure out if I was ever going to get a wrench back. I did get it, so they warrantied it out. But I didn't have any of those problems with Cobalt, with Craftsman, with Tekton. I had it with Gearwrench. And so I absolutely love the quality of their tools. They're super nice, but a warranty is a huge deal. So think about that if you're looking at getting this set. Because, you know, not that you really shouldn't break anything in this if you're using it correctly, but in the event that you do, it may be a while before you get a replacement. All right, so right here I've got the Craftsman 308-piece mechanics tool set. Now, obviously, right away you can tell this is not made to be a mobile setup, but not everybody buys for a mobile reason. So these come in these plastic trays. You can just put them in your toolbox if you want to, or you can obviously pull them out and put them on rails or whatever you'd like to. All right, so here in the first drawer, we've got all your combination wrenches. You've got 7mm through 19, no 11, and I think that's the only skip. And then you've got 1/4 through 15/16. Really a pretty nice set. I mean, these are some nice looking wrenches. They do go up fairly large in size, which is nice to see. They're, you know, your standard 15-degree offset. The wrench itself is a little bit thicker than some of the others I've seen, but so here you're finally getting a real set of wrenches. The Gearwrench had a great range. I think I forgot to say it, but I'm sure I'll you know, add it in afterwards. But the you know, this is a great range of combination wrenches to start with. I've got larger ones now, but for a long time this is going to get you by. You've got nut drivers over here, or sorry, you've got Allens over here. You got 4 to 10, and then 5/32 through 3/8, and then your Torx from 30 to 50, and then just some different Phillips tips, flathead tips. So nice, and all of these markings are actually really clear, really easy to see, and the trays are made fairly nicely. So I don't know how long they'd hold up, but they are, you know, it's at least pretty nice if you want to leave them in these. Okay, so right here we got a whole ton of stuff in this tray. You've got your Allens. You've got the short ones right here from 1/16 through 1/4, and then metric 1.5 through 6. The longer ones you've got from 3/64 through 5/16, and then on metric you've got 4.5 through 7. I would have liked to see these go a little bit larger. Also, if you see my other videos, I don't like the fact that they include both sets of these just to up the piece count. It is nice to have, but they're really cheap to buy, so it's not much value here. As far as their filler goes, there is 42 pieces in here. You've got your tamper-proof Torx, different flatheads, different Phillips, different Torx, and then Allen heads. So I mean, it's a good set here. There's a lot of duplicates. I mean, you've got the Torx here again. There's 15 through 25. So a lot of duplicates in there to kind of up the piece count, in my opinion. But a lot of those are useful. For the nut drivers, you've got 3/16 through 1/2, and then 4 through 12. So nice range there. And then you've got your 1/4-inch drive universal joint, which is really nice to have. And then you've got your driver here too. Comfort grip, pretty nice. You've got 3-inch and 6-inch extensions for the 1/4-inch drive. 72 tooth ratchet. Fairly standard for Craftsman. For the shallows, you've got 4 through 14 with a 4.5 and a 5.5. And then you've got 5/32 through 9/16. On the deeps, you've got 4 through 14 with the 4.5 and the 5.5 again. And then 5/32 through 9/16 for the deeps SAE. This is the first set that we've looked at between everything that has every single socket for shallow and deep. What I would consider a master set. Really great 1/4-inch set here. So onto the 3/8 tray here. You've got your ratchet, 3-inch and 6-inch extension. You've got 3/8 to 1/4 adapter. You've got your universal joint. You have all 3 spark plugs. You've got 5/8, 13/16, and 3/4. Again, this is the only set that's got all 3 of them. For the shallows, you've got 6 through 22. I believe these are all 6-point. Yeah. And then you have 1/4 through 1 inch. Then for the deeps, you've got 6mm through 21, and then 1/4 inch through 7/8. So you got a really nice, mostly complete set here. Really good range of sizes. A few skips, but if it's skipped in the deeps, it's covered by the shallows. So really a pretty nice, complete 3/8 set there. Moving on to the 1/2 inch set, you've got your 72 tooth ratchet, 3-inch and 6-inch extensions, universal joint. You've got your 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter, and then you have a 15/16 and 1 inch Allen. Then for the shallows, you've got 13mm through 24mm, and then 3/8 through 1 inch. For the deeps, you have 14mm through 19, and then 3/8 through 3/4. Pretty nice range. My only gripe on this is I would have rather seen the metric go up higher than 24. Like the Pittsburgh goes up to 32. Maybe you could remove some of these lower ones, add on to the end. That's just my personal preference. Since the 3/8 does go up to 22 already, 24 is nice to have. But it would have been nice to see this go a little bit higher, but still a really nice set. And you could add on just a set of larger 1/2 inch drive sockets or impacts. So really a pretty nice set here. So I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with this Craftsman set. Does it beat the Pittsburgh set? I don't think it does personally. It's $40 more, so this is $199. The Pittsburgh set, it's $199, but if you just wait, the 20%'s kind of come and go. I'm sure they'll have another one for Black Friday. So the Pittsburgh being $160, this being $200, I don't know that this adds a ton of value. I think the ratchets are maybe a little bit nicer, but for the most part, sockets are sockets when you're at this stage. So, they're nice. The wrench set's obviously way nicer, but combination wrenches of these sizes are not terribly expensive to buy. So, but at the end of the day, it's still a really nice set if you're planning on putting it in your toolbox. All right, so the last sets I have here are not technically mechanics tool sets, but they're options that I think you should give serious consideration to once you're into that price range of around $200. Right here, you've got Tekton's 1/4 inch master socket set and their 3/8 master socket set. When I bought these, the 1/4 inch was $55, the 3/8 was $125. They've gone up quite a bit in price. I want to say the 1/4 inch is now $74, and the 3/8 is I think $135. Now Tekton does give you 10% off of anything you purchase on their website towards future purchases, which is a really awesome deal to have because eventually you do get a free tool here and there with money that you've saved. But yeah, let's take a look at what you get with these sets and kind of go over why I think they are options worth considering. All right, so right here's the Tekton 1/4 inch drive master set, and these cases are super nice. You can get replacement hinges if you ever wanted to. I've never had any issues with them. Really nice. This ratchet does not come in. I added it, but the nice thing is it has this compartment over here where you can throw in a flex head ratchet, maybe a couple extra things that you need. So in here you've got your 90 tooth 1/4 inch drive ratchet, and these ratchets are a little bit on the longer side, which is nice, gives you a little bit more leverage. Then you've got your driver here, and also this adapter, so you can use the 1/4 inch bit adapters, which is really great to have. We all have 1/4 inch bits all over the place. So yes, this doesn't include all of the filler that some of the other kits have that you would use, Torx bits and stuff, but the majority of us have those, and then you can just, throw a couple of them in here, and then you've got the driver, which also you can put the ratchet on the end of it and use that if you need a little bit more leverage. As far as the sockets go on shallows, you've got 4 through 14, no skips, including 4.5, 5.5, and then deeps 4 through 14, no skips. On the SAE, you've got 5/32 through 9/16, and then 5/32 through 9/16 on the deep, 3-inch and 6-inch extension. The great thing that I like about Tekton socket sets is they don't skip sizes. Maybe that matters to you, maybe that doesn't. I personally just don't like sizes that are skipped. Even if I'm rarely going to use an 11 millimeter, I'd still rather have it for the day that I'm going to need it. So yeah, really nice 1/4 inch set there. Moving on to the 3/8 set, you've got on the metric, you've got 6 millimeter through 24 millimeter, no skips at all. And then 6 millimeter through 24 millimeter deep sockets, no skips. And then 1/4 inch through, I believe, 1 inch shallows. And then 1/4 inch through 1 inch deep sockets. 90-tooth ratchet, 3 and 6 inch extension, universal joint. And then you've got, I believe it's a 24 inch breaker bar, maybe a 20 inch breaker bar. But the nice thing about this is, yes, there's no 1/2 inch sockets here, but it goes up to 24 millimeter, and then you've got the breaker bar. So if you needed extra torque on something, I mean, I've disassembled my entire Silverado minus the engine, and then the axles, which is where you're going to see some of those bigger fasteners. But I haven't had to use anything larger than a 22 yet on it, removing the bed, removing the bumpers, hood, the whole interior. So really having this set along with the 1/4 inch set does complete a ton of tasks. So you may be thinking this isn't necessarily a fair comparison because yes, these do go over the $200 price tag. But one thing that I've had a lot of people comment about is they wish they could buy metric only sets because they never use SAE. I personally use SAE, that's why I wanted both. But Tekton sells master sets of non-SAE, just metric only. So you can get this 1/4 inch master set metric only for $47. And you can get the 3/8 set metric only for $89. So you're at, I think, $136 for both of these sets. That then gives you room to add a combination wrench set in there, maybe some of the 1/4 inch bits. So they kind of give you the ability to kind of build your garage based off of what you need. This is not sponsored by Tekton or anything like that. I found Tekton a few years ago, and I've had absolutely nothing but just great things to say about them. I broke one tool in one of my torture test videos. Within 4 days of reaching out, I had a new tool at my house. I mean, their warranty, I have not found a company that can even compete, honestly, with their warranty. Tool trucks might compete with the warranty. For you, a tool truck is never going to come to my house. So it's just not how it's going to work, and it's no questions asked. So I love these tools. I'm definitely biased towards them because I've had just such a great experience with these tools. But if you're looking at kind of preparing for the future and possibly building up your tool sets, going with master sets with no skips is really a great thing to think about. It's absolutely nothing to take away from any of the other sets we've looked at, but it is definitely something to think about. All right, so at the end of the day, we really have a ton of great options for under $200. There's hundreds of sets. I know that this only covers 4 different sets that you can buy. There's hundreds of different ones from manufacturers that are really going to get the job done. I just think these are some of the best deals currently. I think the best bang for your buck is going to be probably this Pittsburgh set, especially since it's cheaper than the rest of them. The Gearwrench, the quality of the Gearwrench is super nice. This Craftsman here, obviously, if you're going to use it on a mobile setting, it's not even an option. But Craftsman normally puts a ton of filler in their mechanics tool sets, and this has very limited filler in it. So I do appreciate that. It's a much more true piece count than some of the others where they go up to 400 or 450, and you've got 150 usable pieces in it for the most part, or pieces that have value. Tekton, if you're planning on building out, sets looking towards the future, and you don't want to have to keep buying individual sockets as you need them, it's pretty much impossible to go wrong with them. They've got a great reputation. There's tons of videos on YouTube about, torture testing them versus all sorts of manufacturers, and they perform really well. But really, these are all great sets. So now let's get on to what I mentioned at the beginning of the video and the giveaway. So for the giveaway, I'm going to be giving away this Craftsman 216 piece mechanics tool set. This was my top choice from the under $100 tests that I did. It's really a great set. I'm honestly pretty impressed. It's been probably 10 years since I bought anything Craftsman. I know I've got Craftsman cabinets and, you know, a bench here. They're more than 10 years old. But I'm really pretty impressed with this set. It covers a lot of sizes. But the main reason I'm doing this giveaway is honestly just a thank you. You know, this last week we hit 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate, you know, the viewers, the constructive criticism comments, even the ones that, you know, aren't super constructive. It all, in my opinion, makes this channel a little bit better. I know I'm still working on the audio, but I really just appreciate it a ton. And so all you need to do in order to have a chance at winning this is just leave a comment on if you would like to see a part 2 of the under $200 video. You know, list off a few sets that you want me to look at, or maybe some ideas for some content you'd like to see in the future. You know, some different wrench sets or whatever you'd like to see. But really, I appreciate it a ton. Like I said, all you need to do is leave a comment. You don't necessarily need to be subscribed, and you do need to live in the United States. But again, I really appreciate all the support, and I hope to see you guys again soon.